Good, we're on.
I'll wait a minute.
I think so. Yeah, we're good. I got my little stream bar up.
Let me try again.
I think it's live. Yeah. So what's the word, man? What's new
Oh,
in
hello.
music? Because it's music time.
We're on. Yeah, fucking on.
Oh, maybe it's not
Beautiful.
working.
Hang on.
Yeah, we're good. I'm just making
Is that
sure
all right?
you're heard. I think you sound pretty unclear to me right now, so you're probably going to sound unclear to everyone else.
Okay, how's that sound?
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Awesome. 1,000 apology to the world for being so unprofessional. That's Alex. How are you doing, Alex?
Good, brother. It's music time though, so I think oh yeah, and I'm just coming out of the right side. Whatever. Problems we can fix. Um yeah. What do you think the best metal album of all time is? That's a good place to start.
Ooh, we're not going to go subgenres of metal. We're just saying metal. um, gee, that's rough. Um, best metal. It's got to be either a Pantera or a Metallica, probably a Metallica album. And I can't say Black. I would have to say can't say Injustice because there's no fucking bass on it.
And Justice for
Um,
Jason though, you could claim that one if they could
I could
redo
claim
that
Injustice for
YouTube stream.
Jason. That's
Now
for
they
that's
overdid the
right up.
bass. They overdid the bass on that, but it's
Yeah, but
still.
that's the whole point of it. Yeah,
I wanted it. I missed it, so I wanted to hear more of it. So I don't
yeah.
really blame them for that. And the snare sounds so shit that it's all I can think about when I hear that album is how bad that snare sounds.
It doesn't sound as bad as
I
Saint
like a
Anger.
thuddy
The
snare,
snare. Oh,
like a growl, and he went for more of the clang clang, the clang clang snare, the snary snare.
yeah. Your audio is a little bit low all of a
Well, I
sudden.
guess we'll find out. Who
Um,
cares? It's the first
that could
stream,
just
and
be
there's
my
like
ears.
I have one follower, so I think we're safe.
Okay, let's have a look and see where live chat.
I think I'm supposed to keep track of it. Oh, okay, I got you. I got you. I am running low, but so are you, dude. We're both new to the game. No, I
Yeah,
think
but you did well. I'm proud of.
favorite metal album for me is probably gonna be Ride the Lightning, and
You.
the reason for that is
It's not bad.
it's Master of Puppets probably, but most of me wants to say Ride the Lightning because Ride the Lightning is more for a grunge head like me. It's more mainstream, where Master of Puppets is
Um,
full thrasher. I don't even know my thrash.
I don't
Like if
know.
someone
Really,
says, "Oh,
is
it's
it?
death metal," that's doom metal. This is death metal. I don't know. It's all chugging and it's
I
all
don't know either.
atonal
I know
singers.
Metallica is all thrash. That's thrash. That's all thrash.
I know people say the
Anything
first Kill
that
'Em All is
does
thrash.
chuggity chug chug chuggity chug chug is thrash metal, according to me.
Yeah, fast, high energy.
So yeah, and just chug and downstroke chug and then down up chuggity chug chug. That's thrash
Oh yeah.
in my vocabulary. I don't know if that's correct. So of the Metallic albums, yeah, and Justice for Jason, probably Kill 'Em All for me would be
Kill 'Em All's
above.
fun. Kill 'Em All is just a
Yeah,
fun metal album.
yeah, it's got some fucking upbeat rock fucking vibe to it. I like it. That's proper thrash. That's what I would call old school proper early 80s thrash. And from Pantera, definitely Cowboys from Hell is pretty fucking good, man. That's a fantastic album.
I never really got into Pantera yet. I'm sure I will. I know
Well, they're only the
Dimebag is
heaviest metal
sick,
band of all
dude,
time.
but I haven't got into it yet. I'm so new to metal in general because grunge was my life, and I used to think like I used to
Crunch,
look down
crunch,
on
yeah.
skids for some reason. You know, you just gotta hate people. You gotta hate other groups when you're in one group.
I remember when I was only capable of playing grunge and I used to hate metal because I fucking
Mm-hmm.
play it.
One thing I'll say for metalheads though, they don't kill themselves, and everyone in
Hmm.
grunge seems depressed and they want to kill themselves.
Yeah.
All the singers have committed suicide. I'm sure many
Well,
of the guitar players
well,
have.
allegedly.
Well, I guess it's. I don't know. It's a
I
shit
reckon
show.
some of those are hits.
Recent follower, Dan the Man. Okay. I have no idea what this Streamlabs bullshit is. I just wanted
Do we
to
have
do a
another
Google
visitor?
Hangout. Apparently, you can't do Google Hangouts. That's a little too simple. People need all these like multi-window shit going on.
Oh yeah.
No, man, but
We do have a visitor. Hi, Will. How you doing?
Willie?
Will's in the house.
Will's in for a music
hear
chat.
him.
Okay. What's Will's favorite type of music? He
You
likes
know the answer
language,
to
not
that.
music.
No, he likes those nationalist fucking marching beats and stuff. The fashy music of the 40s.
Something's happening with you. Are you close to your phone? Are you on a walk or something? You sound like you're walking through Wuhan.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm stationary.
Oh, okay.
That's Will. That background.
Is Will here? Cool.
Will Hell. Sound off, boy. He's
I'm
in here.
not talking.
He's in the call.
Especially for he doesn't know that he's in a music stream right now because I have 13 followers and I don't know if Will is one of them. But we're live, dude. This shit's going live. This is a major broadcast. This is it's pretty big. It's a pretty big deal.
You're making us look very unprofessional, Will, right now.
I think we might even have
It's all
a
right.
viewer.
We'll give him a pass.
If we're lucky, we'll get a viewer, Will.
Will, what the fuck, son?
I still got my guitar tuned to Seasons tuning. Taz, do you know that song?
No? Will, what's up, son?
You know that one?
What's the tuning?
It's FFCCCF. FCCCF.
Open F tuning. Yeah, okay.
It's pretty rad. Chris Cornell came up with it for Seasons, and I don't know if he came up with it,
I
but he
don't know
certainly
it.
abused the hell out of it.
And you're doing that on your steel acoustic, your heavy gauge strings, and you tighten right the fuck
It's
up.
basically the only reason I pick up my acoustic. I really have no interest in the acoustic guitar anymore. Since the metal infatuation, it's all been
Okay, so
electrics.
your bottom is tuned up half a step. What's the
I
next
don't
one?
It's FF.
So what? The same F.
Yep, and then CCC through the middle, and then
What?
the high string is also an F.
I have no idea what the fuck that means. I do, but I can't.
No.
Get my head
I
around
just
it.
dude, I YouTube it and I use my tuner. I have no idea, but if anyone's like, "Oh, are you down a half step from the Lydian mode?" Oh yeah, fuck off.
No. I'm not doing Lydium, mate. Calm down.
All right.
All right, so the bass string is an F, the half a step up.
I'm not a
and
guitar
the A
geek.
string.
Like we
is
were
an
talking
F.
about, I just go into the guitar store
All right,
like it's
well,
a
just
dog shelter,
Go,
and whatever
bottom,
resonates with me, I
bottom to
get.
top.
Still not working.
Yeah,
What's
we
not
can hear you,
working?
man.
We can hear you, dude. You're famous. We just made you famous.
Fuck you. Oh my god.
Will doesn't even
Will.
know, man. He doesn't know that this is.
Are
being
you even
streamed.
watching?
There's
He's
2,000 people
doing the,
listening. To this.
The classic.
Oh, it's so funny.
This is brilliant.
Isn't this fun?
This is almost
I
as
just
good as an
want
Aaron
Blake to
Mac.
like do a copyright strike for using his face. Have you seen? Blake's streams are just like. I don't know if they're designed to
Shit.
aggravate,
Hang on. I've got to.
but they do aggravate.
There it goes. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, we've been able to hear you the whole time. With
Yeah,
your
I figured that.
comings and
I couldn't
goings,
hear you.
we
Yeah.
could hear everything you were doing.
Will, you sound like you're in a big open room writing a dictionary for a new language. What's your language called, by the way?
Vesser Dutch.
Vesta Dutch?
Vesser.
Lesser Dutch?
No.
Vesa. That's it.
Vesa. What's that mean? Is that German for new language?
Fuck, I know. I just gave it a fucking name.
Rad. What's your favorite type of music? Because we're trying to be topical, at least for a few minutes.
Favorite type of what?
What's your favorite type of music? German
Music.
anthem? German
Uh,
military anthems?
Well, not anthem.
Catholic
No.
Gregorian chanting?
You Catholic.
Aren't you Catholic?
Catholic. Bleh. No cups.
I thought you were part of the Team Crusader with
No.
what's Mike's boy? What's Mike's boy's name? Frankie Muniz. What's his name? Who's the guy?
Everybody.
I don't fucking know.
Oh, Nick Fuentes.
Uh, no.
All right. Well, we're trying
I
to
don't
do a
think
music
Will's that
talk
kind
here.
of a fashy. I think he just likes all the fashion and music and
Mm-hmm.
the heraldry and the pageantry and all that good stuff.
I like it.
I think he just likes the vibe,
Mm-hmm. I think
but not the up against the wall stuff.
I think he likes the way like it's like Halo music, you know those that type of stuff with a lot of reverb. I think I've heard you playing that. Am I imagining that?
No, he's more like from it's more like Italian composer,
Mm-hmm.
ultra nationalist war music.
Nice. Do you play an instrument, Will?
Trying to learn the balalaika.
What the hell is that?
I like that.
It's a Russian string instrument.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
What's it resemble? Like a fiddle in size, a cello? What are we talking about?
About the length of my arm.
All right. You sound like you're under your bed and the microphone's on the other side of the room.
Nope. Is that better?
No, it's not really better. There's a lot of room noise, but
Better now?
I'm only coming outside one channel here, so we're learning. This is the first stream. There's no
Okay.
pressure. It's
Yeah.
only there's 160 people watching.
Oh, yeah?
There is.
That's cool.
No, there's not.
There is 100.
No, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Pretty sure we're alone, unless like I got 17 subscribers. Maybe one of them has their
One person
notification
watching,
set.
and it's me.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get you. No, Taz, I think the best music I've ever listened to is Stone Temple Pilots. And
Yeah, I know you've been on a little kick of the STP. Of
I
late.
love it. The same way you love Tool. So your Tool is.
Oh, I
my
don't love
Stone-
Tool as much as you love STP. No way.
Well, maybe
No
that's
way.
true.
I love and hate Tool, but
Yeah.
equally.
Scott
They're really
Weiland's
shit, but
voice
I like the.
is amazing. Was amazing. And his
Yeah,
voice
yeah,
in the early 90s to mid 90s was the best voice in the game. It just was the best.
Lane Staley is my favorite, but
Lane Staley's
Waylon's up there.
great, but I think in like terms of if you had like in like a FIFA attributes list where it's like offensive
Yeah.
awareness, kicking power, shot power, pass power, it's got all those
Mhm.
attributes. I think if you lined
He's
up
more
Lane
versatile,
Staley and
for sure.
Scott Weiland, Lane might win in
Weiland?
Lane versus Weiland.
Is that how we're pronouncing it?
Weiland,
I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't
He's-
know.
he
I
doesn't-
say
he's
Wayland
not
because
objective.
Wayland Utani, obviously.
Wayland's fine. I think it's Weiland. I think like they've asked him. They're like, "Hey, what's your name?" And he didn't even
Like
say Scott. He's like,
Weimar.
"It's Weiland."
Yes, Weiland.
Whatever. Wayland works. There's not another Wayland we're confusing him with that people will get upset about. So
No.
I'm gonna go with Weiland. You're gonna go with Wayland. Potato. But him versus Lane, if you add up all the attributes, I would give Scott a 91 overall and Lane an 88 overall.
Fair enough.
Okay, and there's
Okay.
in-depth reasons for that, but I still love Lane.
What would you give Chris Cornell?
96.
Yeah, he's probably the best vocalist I've ever heard.
Yeah, there's
Male
no
or
one higher
female,
than
any
96.
genre.
Let's just say that. You've got to leave room in case like the next Freddie Mercury comes along or something. But
I'd put Cornell probably above.
I don't know if I'd put him above
Freddie.
Mercury. I think they're both tied for 96 overall.
Yeah.
And
That's fair call.
who do you
We're
think?
definitely not going to get in a fist fight over these numbers.
No, but I mean we're on lockdown. There's we have time to debate this. I think the most underrated bass player is Robert DeLeo of Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, he's not.
Creativity wise, not in technical.
He's not underrated
He's not
because he's
showing
not
off.
rated at all.
He's not showing off.
He's not rated. He doesn't even make.
He
the
should
fucking
rate. He should
cut.
rate.
He's fine. He's probably better than me. It's fine. So,
Well,
I sound like me right now. I didn't even mean it.
we should invite
Um,
Neve on, but he won't talk about music.
No, we won't talk about me. He'll appear. Don't say that's his name. It's been mentioned 3 times already. Fuck.
What do you think about Blind
So
Melon?
magically.
Have you ever given them a run?
Ugh,
Oh, they're good, bro.
it's dinky.
They're a sleeper.
It's dinky music. Yeah, I like Presidents of the United States.
Well,
I like
that's great.
Blind Melon. I like dinky stuff. Yes.
It's
I
not
don't hate
dinky though.
it.
Like Blind Melon is a
It is dinky.
legit, technically gifted band,
They're dinky as hell, bro.
but they're very gifted.
Like,
The mix of electric guitar and acoustic is pretty awesome. And I thought they were a one-hit wonder band. Remember in the Columbia House days where you order 1 million CDs? Everyone had that Blind Melon with the B on it, with the "There's No Rain,"
I do
and
remember that. I fucking.
it
It's
wasn't the
another
greatest
thing.
album though. It wasn't the greatest album.
That's another thing that you've just reminded me that was in a fucking memory hole. Was those CD clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I was subscribed to one
It's
of those.
just a
back in the day.
penny, Dad. Please give me a penny.
It was great. That I got my Pearl Jam, my
Yep.
Nirvana. I got Alice in Chains Dirt. I got a lot of them. through
Oh,
that
there's
CD
there's a
club.
there's a few that everybody had. When you get Columbia House, you know that everyone's gonna have that shitty Collective Soul album. The worst album of all time
Well, it
is
was
that.
categorized into like it was separated into categories, and you went to the I guess it was called alternative.
Yeah.
I just clicked on all of those.
We still listened to like what the DJs told us to listen to because there was no internet, so everyone got the same CDs. So people had mega success, like Smashing Pumpkins.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
everyone got Siamese Dream.
What do you while we're on Smashing Pumpkins? What do you think of Smashing Pumpkins? Or
In
Billy Corgan at
vocal,
large?
overall, I think they're fucking amazing. And
He's got a nasally thick voice.
I got
obviously.
used to that
Yeah.
just the same way people get used to Geddy Lee in Rush. It's the same way I got used to Billy Corgan.
I really like Billy Corgan politically. Recently, he's been on Infowars and a
Oh
bunch
yeah,
of
he's
stuff.
a right winger. You gotta love the right wing musicians because
He's
there's so
not
few of
even.
them.
He's just he's a free thinking libertarian. He's a old sex, drugs, and rock and roll guy that actually remained consistent with that concept of freedom,
Mhm.
which is what I used to be, and so I line up a lot with him in that sense.
He's pretentious as high hell.
Yeah, he's a prima donna for sure.
No.
You know,
Oh, Colin
he's-
Flaherty liked my reply. I like that guy. I like that guy a whole lot.
but anyway, yeah, they were okay. I'm not a fan of that big melancholy and infinite sadness big double album.
Oh, that's such a
Fill
good
up.
album. I mean, if you
Yeah,
filter
there's some
out
great
the fruity
songs,
stuff,
but it's
if you
packed full of
filter out the
filler as
fruits,
well.
if you get the vitamin C out of there and all that fruit out of there, then it's
But why
like
do that?
the best album of all time. But if you like,
Yeah, but that's the problem I've got with it, is that there's all this filler in there. It was enough quality to make one normal great album. They decided to make a gigantic
yeah,
double
but
album.
you know
Shit.
he's pretentious, and there's like the same way that I forgive, I forgive
And I'm not
artsy
digging the
people
whole
for being so
girl
left wing.
bass player thing.
But like artsy people that are left wing, I forgive it totally, because you're doing something I dig. I really hate that they think we're demons if we say we're right wing. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't reciprocate. Dan Bongino said this. He's like, Republicans think that Democrats are good people with bad ideas. Democrats think Republicans are just bad people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't
Well,
like to talk
not even.
politics with my eye. It's
They
like
don't
when they
even
say
think
never
that
meet your
because
idol.
They simply don't think. That's what I would say. They don't think we're bad people. They don't think anything because they do not.
No, they think
together.
viscerally. They think what they're told to think and what their emotions tell them to think and what
That's
their
not
simple
that's not thinking, is it?
criteria of what's racist and what's, like that's how they think.
Exactly. That's not thinking. That's the absence.
Well, yeah, maybe you're right.
Hmm.
It's not thinking critically. It's thinking emotionally and, being kind of, and you combine that with the elitism where they have a filter. It's like, we're so smart, Trump's so dumb. It just shuts the brain totally.
Oh, I
I'm
see it
gonna
every
tweet
day
this
on
link
Twitter
to
with
my
the
political
left wing
crew.
guys that I follow. They're just, yeah. But I think we were talking about this back and forth in the chat the other day about the political injection of fucking ideologies into the lyrics of music and how it's really not a fucking good idea. Even if
Yeah.
you do have something very passionate that you believe in and you want to get your message out there, you'd be better off writing catchy songs and becoming famous, and then which aren't politically charged songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get that moment to sit down for an interview and they ask you, do you like Donald Trump? Yeah, he's not bad. I don't hate him as much as everybody else.
No, exactly.
He's doing his job.
It's. I hate. We were mentioning that before. That anyone that brings their ideology into their singing, like they're going to teach their audience something, I just think to myself, what are the odds that you are the best singer I've ever heard, and also you're a philosophical dynamo
Yeah.
that I just need to hear all the
Probability
opinions of?
would state that this is
Yeah,
highly unlikely.
Stefan Molyneux with the
Um,
voice of Freddie Mercury. You know what I mean?
well,
Like, what are the odds that those two things are going to happen? And then once you realize that, you're like, but again, I've been in bands, so have you, where we need that front man to be a deluded narcissist, because it's very hard to take all the eyes in the room and all the lights in the room on you and then get a crowd revved up unless you believe you're fucking awesome. So part of
Yes.
that is like, you've got to accept that these guys are going to think they're prophets from all the people looking at them, and they're going to be like, yeah, this is my view on race realism and inclusion. You know, it's like, okay, thanks. I'd rather hear peaches come from a can they were put there by a man. But if you really want to give me your diatribe on how the world should work, go ahead. You know, like at the drive-in, dude.
I do the opposite. I actually take lyrics from songs and I use them in my everyday vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
For example, my go-to pickup line at the bar is just to look. The girl's already made eye contact. It's already happened.
Yeah.
You have to say something to seal the deal. So I just pull out the old Mark Knopfler Dire Straits of "You and Me, Babe, How About It."
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't failed me yet.
Listen, I watched a special on Dire Straits. It's not my thing, bro. It's just not.
Oh, he's just
It's
a
a
great
guy
guitarist.
finger
He's got a unique
plucking
style.
a
He
finger
plays with
plucking a
this unique
Fender
finger style.
Strat and doing like
Yeah,
folk music
it's
from Newcastle.
not how I play a Strat. I play a Strat like I try and play it like the guys from Mars Volta crossed with John Frusciante crossed with James Hetfield.
Yeah. Well, that's a very diverse
That's
group.
how I
Seeing
play a
as one
Strat.
guy's like the picking
Yeah,
god
but just
in
smush
Hetfield.
them all together, and that's how I play it. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I enjoy finger picking for like Stairway to Heaven, you know, and I used like the crab formation
right.
where it's just like my ring finger and my thumb. I'm not incorporating all fingers. You know what I mean? Those guys are
Yeah.
psychos. It's like you got way too much time on your hands. You should be learning some Hetfield.
Yeah. Well, the way Mark Knopfler does it, he's not necessarily doing classical finger style. What he's doing what a bass player does when they do the pop of a slap riff. So you know when you're slapping bass, you get your thumb downstroke, which is called the thump or the slap.
Yeah.
And you get the pop, which is you get underneath the string and lift it up and go pop.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of doing that on the Strat, going donk donk donk, like bow bow bow. You know, so it gives it just a bite on the beginning of each note.
You're talking for a
and
bass, though, right?
No, but yeah, he's using a pop technique similar to what a bass player would use on his Strat. So
He's awesome. I mean, looking at how he plays with his fingers on the
he's
Fender.
he's pulling, he's getting underneath the string and he's lifting it up and slapping it back against the neck. That gives it an tacky, really slap at the beginning of that beginning of that sound.
Mm-hmm.
Of that note.
I think I have distortion ADD, though, where if a guitar's not distorted, I can't listen for that long. You know, it's like watching theater instead of Netflix. It's like, I'm going to live
You're like
theater.
the opposite.
You know, it's like that's...
You're the exact opposite of my ex bandmate / best buddy, currently ex best buddy that I haven't seen for all those years because you
Is this Marcus?
douchebag. No, I'm talking about back. No, you wouldn't know him. I never would have spoken about.
Oh, you never
He's this
mentioned him. Okay.
Singer, good. Well, he's the guitarist singer out of our band when we were kids.
Cool.
And Sam is his name, and he had a great voice, and he was able to sing and play, and he was a decent fucking guitarist too. Probably about as good as I am now, and that was when we were like 15, 16. He was pretty talented. I was almost as good as him on the guitar, and then it was like, well, one of us has to play bass. And I was naturally just inclined that way. I could play it immediately.
Yeah.
So I became
what
the
type
bass
of
player.
music were you guys writing?
Um,
Just closest bands.
we were just
like if it was in like a
um,
recommended for you on
Silverchair.
YouTube. Silverchair. Oh,
we were
yeah.
young though. Yeah, we were young, so our riffs were Silverchair or Helmet kind of sounding.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So drop D.
Yeah, they were very
Drop
they
D
were they were
Fun
drop
Fest.
D, one finger power chord type,
Yep.
chuggy type things. Yeah, and we never really got to the stage of putting any lyrics to it, but we had a set list where we played some covers and we blended it all together with big medleys of original instrumental shit,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like filled out a 45-minute set list with original filler.
Yep.
It went down pretty good.
That was the best part about Silverchair. They made everyone feel like they could be in a band.
Yeah,
We'd all start playing
and
our
when I say
Sil-
Silverchair, obviously, when I say we sounded like Silverchair, we sounded like Frog Stomp Silverchair.
Yeah, Frog Stomp Silverchair, not the pretentious
Yeah,
later
not
days
any
with
of
the Symphony
Yeah, but
Orchestra.
correct. I knew that you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah,
I thought I just
Neon
had that little
Ballroom.
clap.
Post
Yeah, no.
Freak Show. Freak Show was the greatest album ever, and
Freak Show's good.
I
though.
think it
mean,
became unfashionable to like Silverchair because so many chicks loved Silverchair. So it felt like you liked New Kids on the Block because every time you'd see Silverchair, it's like,
came on-
just girls screaming, and you're like, "Am I gay? Is this gay that I like this?"
no,
You know, but
it's an interesting theory. I don't want to.
no, but like people kind of don't wear it on their sleeve how much we loved Silverchair anymore. But that was like we were 15 years old. I think we're
never
like
had
1 year
until I
younger than
met you,
Silverchair.
and- Yeah, until I met you and Nick, and you both said, "Yeah, they fucking rock back in the day." I was like, "Oh, it's cool. It's acceptable. I will come out of the closet now."
Yeah, everyone's
I
in a
used to love
Silverchair
them.
closet
Yeah.
because it's just like
Well, except for you and Nick, like you guys were let out and proud. So I was like, "Oh, this is fucking rocking." Because I actually really used to love that. I used to be inspired by that guy, by Daniel.
and being
know?
so young, and being a front man in a three-piece, that's huge. The pressure
Oh, he
that
was
was
more
on
of
him.
a hero to me.
I probably should.
Oh, yeah.
I should go easier on how pretentious and weird he got because I think fame crushed him early. Like he
Now,
was
Natalie
obsessed
Imbruglia
with.
crushed him
But why? Because she's like a manic or something.
because she's an Australian soap opera star. That's why.
She's a soap star. I thought she was just a pop star.
She was in everything. She was one of those She was like Mel Gibson's wife. What's her name?
I don't know Mel Gibson's wife. He has a wife.
The one from the Meltdown tapes.
I
What's
don't
her
know.
name? I forgot.
Oh,
It's like
okay. I remember him like losing it on someone. He was drunk.
Juliana
right?
or whatever her name is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She was a Russian, jack of all trades, master of none. Talent was fucking pretty faced whore, basically.
Yep.
And he did everything he could to buy her a career and encourage her and give her, in a good way. And she just was a manipulative bitch in the end.
Yeah, that's people are
I think
crazy when
Daniel's
you
actually
take clips
still
out
with
of
Natalie.
context with Mel Gibson. Like, if there's one dude who I know I'm gonna enjoy his movies, it's Mel Gibson. And he was so attacked in Hollywood for being anti-Jew.
That's how you know he's good. Because once
Because he's
once you're
Catholic. I
in
mean, the
Hollywood and
Catholics versus the
they all hate
Jews.
you. Yeah, he's Irish too. And he's very Australian as well.
Yeah, true. But anyways, Silverchair.
Yeah.
That drummer's
I don't know
really
about
good, dude. That drummer was really good.
Well, he's good. He's
What happened to
definitely
him? Is he in a good
talented.
band now? He's probably not.
I have no idea.
I think
But he
they
was a
all
cool guy.
they were probably just crying that Daniel Johns turned into such a nutcase. Like their meal
Yeah,
ticket
those guys
for
didn't-
life.
I don't think their taste in music progressed or evolved the way his did. I think they wanted to keep playing fucking hard rock alternative.
But
you know,
why do
metal
like
grunge.
that's the thing is people thinking they need to evolve. You know who did a good job not evolving?
Well-
Queens of the Stone Age. They still make amazing
Yes.
music, but they don't go pretentious. They're not like this one we're going to put the symphony orchestra in and I'm only gonna
They're
play the
dinky as
oboe.
well. They're a dinky band. They're a dinky band. They've written some fucking masterpieces. They really
Yeah.
have. That whole album of what's it called? What's the album?
I don't know. All of them are amazing to me.
Well, the one with No One Knows.
There's
on it.
Rated R. There's Songs for the Deaf.
Oh.
That's with No One Knows.
Songs for the Deaf.
That's
the one.
2002. Yeah.
It's got like the hanging tree. It's got some cool songs on it.
Doodle,
mean,
doodle,
that's
doodle,
not
doodle,
necessarily
doodle,
political.
doodle. Yeah, it's all based on like the thing is there such a rhythm band? Like they don't care about melody. It's just like hit one note. What's their first song?
Yeah.
Is just do 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 that nicotine, Valium, Vicodin, marijuana, nicotine, alcohol.
Yeah,
You ever heard
alcohol.
that one?
Yeah.
Fucking great song.
Yeah.
But they're a groove band. It's just the rhythm and the groove, and they're not overthinking the melody. You know, it's
Yep,
when I
don't
first
mind
wrote
it.
songs, dude. When we played downtown shows when I was like 20, we were such bad musicians. All I had going for me was Silverchair and like Helmet and Creed and like drop D power chord bands, and we thought we were awesome. And then
You were awesome. So
No,
did we.
it was-
I was
yeah,
exactly
I
the
guess
same.
compared
And
to
I was
the-
awesome.
compared to the scene, we were okay. But then we went into. I said when I turn 25, if I'm not famous, I'm going to just go record other bands that do get famous. And that's what I did. Went to school to record other bands. And then I started getting into Zeppelin. And I'm like, oh, man, I wish I'd learned Zeppelin before I got out on stage. Because this is real songwriting.
You were playing Metallica the whole time too, so you were.
I wasn't playing
going to
Metallica.
that
I'd
sort of
never
next
heard of
level.
Metallica. I heard
Really?
of them, but I knew like the Black Album. That's it. I didn't know like the
those,
early
those
stuff.
were the first songs I ever learned. So Nothing Else Matters. I literally is the first thing I ever did on a guitar. On
Yeah, true.
a piece of crap on a student nylon was learn that song one note at a time.
No, that was a shitty song, and it was a shitty band after '91. to
Doesn't
me.
matter. It doesn't matter. It's got all of the techniques in it.
Yes, it does. But
So it's a
I
good
don't know.
learning
The
song.
same way I don't like anything after Appetite for Destruction and Guns N' Roses. I mean, I like the song Coma off Use Your Illusion 1.
Is that the only one you like off that
no-
those two albums?
November Rain off Use Your Illusion 2.
No, yeah.
It's a good song. That
Locomotive. What about
That's just great.
Locomotive? You know that one?
What's that?
Locomotive. That's off number one.
Civil War.
Baby
I
got a
remember that one being good.
locomotive. Baby going off the track. Baby got a locomotive. Got to get the bitch. Peel the bitch off my
So
back.
they did more than one song about a train.
They did.
That's
They
awesome.
did Locomotive and Night Train.
Oh, I
Night
love
Train's
Night
off.
Train. That's my favorite. one.
Off Appetite.
That used to be. I have to do that as like a lullaby song for my 2-year-old.
I'm on a night
He
train.
loves
Yeah,
when I
that's Appetite.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great song.
fucking Appetite's the shit, man. That's a mad album.
Yeah,
Love it.
Appetite is
Dustin
just an
Bones.
attitude. That whole attitude of that. And I remember when I was a kid listening to it, it was like the first cassette tape I'd ever heard that had swear words on it. And when I was listening to it, I would be like telling my dad, like on car rides to go camping, I'm like, look, when it goes, you know, when you go to his low voice and it's like, you got nothing better to do and I'm bored. Remember, like they'd be singing like that. And it's Axl, but I used to say, that's Slash. Whenever it's low singing, that's Slash singing. I was like
We all had
convinced of it.
theories that ended up being wrong.
Yeah. It's
I
like
used to think
wrestling is
things that were
real,
wrong.
Dad. That's Slash singing that part.
I literally lost a bet recently about Korn, about the two guitarists, Head and Monkey. I was like, no, Monkey's the more of the lead guy. Head's more of the rhythm guy. But they're
Who?
both quirky and
Who are these?
atmospheric. Korn.
Oh, Corn. Okay, yeah. Monkey is
Corn.
what? The blonde? There's like a blonde and a brunette guy.
No.
There's a dude
no
who does
blonde
like
guy. They're all-
cornrows or like braids. I don't know.
No,
like-
they all do dreadlock.
Yeah, they're all
Brady
weird.
Steele. I don't want to get into it, bro.
Mhm.
It's a faggot. Sorry, I mentioned them. We'll just
Corn's pretty good
Zzz.
though.
rewind. Never got
Corn's
mentioned.
pretty good. Like the same way when I look back, Creed was pretty good.
They're very similar guitarists. The two guys out of Korn are very similar, but I thought one was more of the lead and one was more of the. And I have it wrong right there.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
think I know the more lead guy. He's like a little blonder. He's a bit more blonde. There's one
Head
dude who
is
steadily looks.
apparently the more lead guy.
Yeah. But whatever. They're not.
They've all got stupid names.
They got the formula though. I'll tell you that much. Like there's formula
are
bands.
unique,
Like
and
Iron
they've
Maiden's a
stuck to their
formula
sound.
band.
They're
Linkin
pretty
Park
cool.
is a formula band. And respect to them
They
because
are.
they're giving the people their pills, what they want. You know.
I don't respect shit about Linkin Park.
About who?
They could fucking jump in the fucking bin. As far as I'm concerned, Linkin Park. They can fuck all.
Yeah,
over.
I mean,
Can't stand it.
I thought it was a
Get it out
joke.
of my
I
ears
can't
right now.
believe a guy would rap the one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. I'm like, is that a joke? Because this sounds like a 5-year-old. This
No,
sounds like a
No,
5-year-old.
it's formulaic. It's pop music
A,
formulaic.
B, C, and D. It really does not matter to me. Like that, it really is that level of rapping. So,
Can I tell you some of the old bands that reformed and like relaunched and appeared at Download Fest a couple of years ago that I saw live that were fucking horrible?
who?
One of them was fucking, what are they called? Not Korn, the other ones. Limp Bizkit.
Oh,
Limp
man.
fucking Bizkit with their Fred Durst is a middle-aged fucking useless cunt.
Yeah, I used to
He
be
was
able to
always
separate the Wes Bagland. What's his name? He was the guitar
Wes
player, and I
Borland.
used to think you could make some cool sounding riffs, but I mean, when you put
No,
rap over
no, he's
something, my
shit.
brain tunes out.
No, he's terrible. No, he's fucking terrible.
Hmm.
He sucks. The whole band is fucking shit. They're woeful. I saw them live. They're fucking disgraceful. They couldn't even give each other space, you know,
What?
with the frequencies they were using. They were just all booming all over each other, making a gigantic clusterfuck soup. It was horrible. And the other one was Prophets of Rage, which
That
is
sounds
obviously
so
Rage Against the
pretentious.
Machine without Zach De La Rocca. So they were fucking horrible, bro.
Yeah,
Not
that
just
Zach De La
amateurish,
Rocca
just
guy is-
fucking really negative experience. Just
Mhm.
horrible.
Zach De La
terrible.
Rocca is it Rocha? Roca? I don't know.
I don't care.
These guys are
Zach
like
De La Rocca,
anarchist
I'll call
political elites.
him. He's a
that I
total
just-
fucking
Just
Marxist
get your
communist, man.
ideology out of my face.
He's Che Guevara with a mic instead of a
Yeah.
fucking AK-47 is what he is.
He's so racist against white people and capitalism. He's what do you call
Although
it
the
when you're-
original Rage Against the Machine were fucking funky and groovy. They
Yeah,
had
and
cool
like Tom
fucking
Morello's like,
grooves.
yeah, growing up as a black kid, I'm like, wait, you're black? You look like a white dude with a tan. Don't claim that black privilege, bro.
Sean King's not pulling it off, and you're on about in the same boat.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he's not black. Tom Morello, yeah, fuck. I figured he was Cuban.
yeah, he's I don't know. I
That's
like
black
his guitar
now,
playing. I
apparently.
like that he's being creative. It's just when they open their mouths, I have to go, okay, they're good musicians. Don't listen to
Well,
their thoughts.
there's about 7 things wrong with Tom Morello. First, he wears his guitar right up on his tits,
Mm-hmm.
so he can fuck right off already. Secondly, he doesn't trim the fucking tails off his strings, so someone's gonna have an eye out. Someone's gonna take their fucking eye out on that shit, you dickhead.
Yep.
Thirdly, he's a master of effects
Mhm.
and can't play the fucking guitar at all.
To be
That's
honest, he can.
problematic.
To be honest, he can play pretty well.
Nah, he can't.
He's not a
He can't play
shredder,
like-
but he's up
he can't-
there.
No. Neither's the dude out of Volta. What's his name?
Oh, Rodriguez. Omar Rodriguez.
Yeah,
is the
Cedric's not a
best.
shredder, but he's a fucking brilliant
Cedric's the
musician.
singer.
And
Omar.
I mean, not Cedric.
Omar
sorry.
Rodriguez.
Sorry.
In the worst
Omar, yeah,
Mexican
sorry.
pronunciation. Yeah. He's the best though. Like,
Rodriguez.
dude, his thing where they did a live show at a pub with him, Frusciante, and Flea. The three
That
of them.
thing,
If you just
you
search
linked to
that
me,
on
but
YouTube,
That's brilliant.
it's like he's here. I'm gonna tee it up. See if this even works.
Yeah, everyone check that out. If there's anyone watching,
there's
if
no
they,
one
if they don't know
watching.
what Alex is
There's
talking
no
about,
one
it's a
watching,
freestyle
dude. I have,
jam
like,
between
4
some of the
followers.
guys from
Let me
Mars
see.
Volta and some of them.
Frusciante, Flea,
Chile,
Rodriguez. You have to listen to how much he insults the concept of a guitar solo. Okay.
It's not insulting in my opinion. He's just freestyling, and that's how I.
You
That's how
might
I
not.
roll.
You might have to listen to your YouTube.
I've seen this. I remember when you linked this. to
I
me
know, just to know. What,
years ago.
here he is. Yeah. He's just doing gibberish, and it's great. We were just dying laughing because we understood the joke. But I think there's people in the comment section going, "What the fuck is this Rodriguez guy doing?" Anyways, that's enough of that. But dude, I don't know. Most people don't like At the Drive-In. I think they are the Nirvana that never got mainstream respect. Probably because his singing style was too rappy. It was too much like Rage Against the Machine. I think some people tuned out a bit. Like they just didn't give it a chance the same way people don't give Rush a chance when they hear his voice.
Like, yeah, you're correct. I just never cared about At the Drive-In until Mars Volta came. Once they formed, and that's a serious band. That's a musician band.
Yeah.
And that's when I started listening to them, especially because of the bass lines and the grooves and the polyrhythms and all that
Mars
good
Volta
stuff.
is like the Pink Floyd of 21st century. I don't know if they were around in the 21st century or they probably broke up by then, but
I'd probably call Radiohead, maybe.
yeah,
But
true.
no, not really.
But like, there's
Not
some
really,
stuff
no.
that
No,
it's
not
just like
Radiohead.
it's like Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness for you is Mars Volta for me. If it's a best of, I love them. But if you listen to the whole album of like Bedlam and Goliath, you're just like, is this music? Did they just turn on a
some shit in
copy
there.
machine and make
There's some
60
shit in there.
copies?
The not the last. What was the next one? The second album. I think D Louse was the first one.
D Louse
No,
is the
Francis.
first one. The second one
Francis
is
was the first one. No, Francis the Mute is the one I like.
that's the second
And-
one.
Yeah, Francis I like, and the third one, which
Bedlam and
was-
Goliath.
No, didn't like that one. What's the next one?
I don't know.
Architecture?
I don't know. I'm not an expert in them. I just go for the
No,
hits.
me either. Me either.
I go
But
for the
I did,
hits.
I did dig them. I digged them. I dug them.
Yeah, there's
I
certain
used
songs
them
that I'll
up.
just they'll be my go-tos. Like
Yeah, I used them.
Aberringula.
Well-
If you remember that word, Aberringula is a friggin' great song.
No,
I don't know. I just
maybe
think
it's the way you're saying it.
he had a way of writing things in a theatrical way that wasn't technically overdoing it, but once it's all arranged together, he just had a big plan for shit. And him and Cedric worked so well together. And At the Drive-In, Cedric was trying to be out of tune. He was trying to sound rough, you know? And I knew he was doing it. But other people are like, he can't
It's a
even
warble.
keep in
It's
tune.
not out of tune. Yeah, he's got a little warble.
They
on his
wanted to
voice, like a
sound
little-
raw, dude. They wanted to
like one of those little red. What are they called? Like one of those little birds. What are they called? Like a robin, not a robin. What are those little
warbler.
birds called that do that little warble.
Yeah.
He's doing that with his voice intentionally.
I love it. He's one of my favorite singers.
It's a vibrato of
Yeah.
sorts.
And you need to listen to Anti-Mask. That is, it's
Oh, I know
Mars
Anti-Mask,
Volta, but more pop. It's like someone told Mars Volta, they're like, you guys are great, but we don't want 13-minute songs where like 7 minutes is just like a buzzing amp doing nothing. And they're like, okay, we'll give you what you need. And it's 3-minute songs, poppy as hell, sounds
No.
amazing.
No musician should be doing that, by the way. Maybe on a live concert.
I know,
like
it's
just
pretentious, but
freestyle,
these
some
guys
sound
aren't
effect
pretentious.
Stuff.
Music.
It's not pretentious. It's really rude.
Mm-hmm.
It's really uncalled for. It's selfish and gross.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Which is pretentious, yes. I wasn't. Your words not
it
right.
comes
I was
from the
trying to
same
go further.
spot. Creativity and pretentiousness is like a symbiote relationship, especially with frontmen. And there's guys that are like humble, like the Weezer. No, the Weezer dude's pretentious too. They're all fucking pretentious. Name a guy who's like humble.
I don't think Chris Cornell was. I think Chris Cornell was one of the guys who was still up with that.
Yeah, he
sort
was
of dude.
great. I can't believe. Do you think
just
that
a
he
kid.
pedested? He was pedested, or did he really commit suicide?
Absolutely. I know he was.
Well, what's
in
the
Manchester.
reason? What's the reason that he was pedested? Because that's a great claim. It needs
The-
great evidence.
Well, because the two of them were going to get together and do the old use our platform to expose pedophilia, the network.
Yeah.
And the other guy, there's not many people doing it. There's those two who are dead, and there's Corey Feldman, who's naming names, but they're not any of the big names, so they're letting him go.
And the internet
trying
shut
to think
down
who
right
else.
for his live launch. That's funny.
What happened? Did I
He
say
did
a
like a
bad word?
live launch where you pay and you'll get it to live stream with like synchronized with him in the theater doing a showing. And basically all they could
Okay.
do was the theater showing because the internet just shut down for his stream.
Yeah,
So they killed it, and he's like, I promise everyone will get a refund, because like tens of thousands of people paid $20 to see it, and no one got to see it.
okay.
But apparently, like my
Well-
buddy, I've got like a skeptic buddy with it. He's an open mind guy, but he's kind of like living in normie world. He's been busy being like a successful guy, and he'll like hear me out
That's
on my
fine.
theories. But he's kind of like, I'll tell him stuff. He's like, yeah, but I can't find that when I search it. I'm like, oh, dude, the Google algorithms. And then recently, he's like, do you know that the Google algorithms are totally gone now? You can search whatever you want. And it makes me think like these Q people occasionally have a
they're
point.
not.
Yeah, no,
Just Google
apparently.
how old was Aisha?
No, because I told him to search Big Mike for Michelle Obama, right? And to find out that Michelle Obama's a dude. But of course, it's buried under 50 pages of results. Now apparently it's wide open. Like they're linking to Alex Jones
There's
clips.
certain
and
other
they're-
ones that are not. That they'll throw us a bone on that one. No pun intended.
Yeah,
But there are other ones that are still not going to like. How many? What's the total deaths
yeah.
from Islam? Like, however you want to word that. I've tried. I did it on the live stream. I'll reworded it 17 different ways.
Yeah, I know. It's
You know, like
there's something is happening, but I don't know if the Q people are. I don't know if they're being misled or they've just. When you grow your
the movement is
ideology,
real.
their ideology is like a
Same as
chia
Trump
pet that
movement.
they water every day, and then eventually, the world will resemble what they want it to be. They're looking through a filter that is going to make everything appear to be part of the plan. You know, oh, this virus hit. Well, that satisfies all my criteria of the government shutting down, of the great power grab, of they're locking them up. The queen has been dead for months. She was executed at a military tribunal. Like, what?
Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
But, like,
that's hilarious.
How do you explain the queen being executed at a military tribunal? They really, really believe this, that there's a double in place for the queen.
The queen's alive. Yeah.
That there's a double,
Well,
and that
it's
she's
like,
been executed.
I can look out the window right now and see a cloud shaped like a Q.
Mm-hmm.
So
No.
it's what's
No,
it called?
exactly. I don't know.
Confirmation bias.
They
No,
just
that's
like,
not what it's
and
called.
what's the
That's
evidence?
not what it's
Oh,
called. It's
because
called
Queen
fucking
Elizabeth was
retardation.
killed.
That's what it's called.
But like, why would a military tribunal execute you but have a publication ban? You know, like, oh, well, we're going to execute you for these crimes, Queen Elizabeth, but we'll grant your
Doesn't-
lawyer's
none
request
of
to
that
keep
makes
this
sense.
out of the news.
Yeah, that's not how any of that works.
Yeah, it's a suspension of reality to engage in pure fantasy. And it just like
Yeah.
Q people are very good people.
Oh my
They're nice,
God, the
patriot
Muslims
people
are
with good
making a
hearts.
lot of noise.
But man, they're naive.
Can you hear the Muslim carrying on outside?
Mm-mm.
I apologize if you can. All right, cool.
What are they
I'll
doing?
make sure they're back around.
Hello, Akbar.
Yeah.
They're doing that.
Yeah.
Really? Someone's just shouting that, or it's like a loudspeaker
No,
mosque?
they're just talking, but they're just very energetic and fucking
Yeah.
foreign sounding.
Just yell, "Hey, shut up!" Say,
I just got here, man. I don't wanna
Alice
start any
said,
trouble.
"Shut up."
It's literally my second day in this
Yeah,
house.
true.
Don't worry.
Yeah, don't upset
There
the
will
apple
come a
cart.
time, Alex. There will come a time where I will claim this territory as my own.
No, it's we're in lockdown mode. You're not going to leave your apartment for another few weeks, do you think? Or do you go out for walks?
I was just up the park a moment ago. I'm not
I
doing
don't
what
know.
I'm told.
I just,
one tells
dude,
me.
I go by
No.
what China's doing, and when they're so hardcore about going outside, it makes me think that this is it's like a sticky, hanging in the air type microvirus that'll get you. You know, because these people don't
Nah,
care about
it's a
human
power
life,
grab.
dude.
Yeah, it's a problem reaction solution with a little problem and a big fucking solution.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's what I'm thinking, because I'm fine. I'm not sick, and I've been exposed. I'm breathing the same air as everyone
But
else.
we're
I'm
early
moving around.
days, right? We're where China was in like January, late
No.
January, where they're all saying, "Yeah, we're all fine," and then like February, they're all dropping dead because they got it again, and it's the second time that gets you. You know what I mean? We just don't know enough, and all I know for sure is that people are dropping dead left, right, and center in China, and that like 20 million cell phone users have now just vanished.
Yeah. If the gay AIDS didn't kill me, this won't kill me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna reserve judgment, and everyone's on their hobby horse of like, this fits
I
my
never had
ideology
gay AIDS, by the
perfectly.
way. Just,
Not you, but
just
like
to
a lot of
clarify.
people are trying to explain it through the lens of what they most prefer reality to be. You know, it's the
Oh,
government.
everybody does that all the
This was
time.
all done to take out Trump. What?
Yeah, and there's two types of people, and 90% of people are the first type, which is the ones you're talking about, and then there's the 10% of people with some sort of awareness and actual skepticism and actual open-mindedness who know what they know and what they don't know and have the wisdom to bloody distinguish between the two.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people are getting swept up in hysteria one way or the other. Like, I just met some new people the other night, and one woman was like, "Well, I was nearly arrested today because I went into the local grocery store and I was insisting that they put tape down on the ground. So I came back with my own roll of tape and said, no, you must put 1.5 meters, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, no wonder you nearly got arrested. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
Calm the fuck down. She goes, but it's going to save lives. People, I'm just like, oh my God. I was just like, here, have a joint, darling.
I know. And
She
I
goes, no, I
don't.
can't. Did you lick that? I'm like, never mind. No joint for you. I'll smoke 2 joints then. I rolled everyone into their own little joint so that
My
no one
thing
had to
with
share.
joints
She's
is
like,
I
but you
love
licked the
weed.
paper.
I love weed when I'm carefree, but when I've got shit on my mind, I hate weed. You know,
Really?
when there's corona at the back of my mind and
sound
it's a
fine.
lung related
You
thing, I
sound-
cannot smoke weed.
You sound calm, put together, rational, normal, happy, not depressed, not stressed.
Yeah, but
I know
I
you
think
are. I know
I'll
you've got
focus
concerns.
too much on the dark side if I have weed. I won't,
Really?
you know, I need to be in carefree mode, dude. It needs to be clear sailing and like nothing on the agenda. And
I'm carefree, and I've got elderly people and young people that I care about in this world.
yeah,
I'm not
true.
concerned about them. I'm not afraid of them at all. I'm very confident.
And my wife likes me to smoke weed. She thinks I get agitated and get annoyed easily if I don't smoke
Well,
weed.
you've got a
She's
very
probably
supportive
right.
wife. You're very lucky.
No, she prefers me smoking weed. Not being high all the time, but just like having it. Like if I go 4 days without it, she'll be like, "You're being edgy. You're just like you're
Yeah.
too excited. Like the world's not going to end because of coronavirus. Go have a joint." You know.
Oh my
But
God.
that's like how I was like
God
a
bless
month and a
her.
half ago. I was crazy on this. Corona's going to shut everything down. We're all going to die. And her family was like posting articles with like, as long as you wash your hand and droplets don't land in your mouth from someone sneezing into your open mouth, you're going to be fine. I'm like, have you fucking seen them spraying the air in China? You know,
Um,
it all
we're
came
not
true.
sure. Definitely, it's overhyped.
Yeah.
So that's not to say that it's not fully airborne and a bit of a bioweapon that's been pushed together, and it is particularly nasty, specifically with its spreadability. We're supposed to be talking about music, but anyway, we'll finish this thought.
I don't care. But who's fucking
Yeah,
watching? One person?
both
No
both
one
things are
cares.
true.
Let's talk about what we want. But go on.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, we'll finish off the thought, but yeah, I'm feeling very confident. I think the virus itself is killing sickly people, not just elderly, but elderly and sickly.
Yeah.
So you got those really robust, really fit kind of daily power walk kind of
Yeah.
80-year-olds. They're going to be fine. We're talking about like the frail 90, 98-year-olds.
Yeah.
They're dropping off. They are
Yeah.
dropping off because you know why? Because the flu kills them off every year anyway. And I'm not doing the flu thing. Oh, I'm fucking sick of people comparing it to the flu. It's stupid. But let's use a different example. And food poisoning, a mild case of salmonella would kill these oldies too. So
Yeah.
they're in the hospital. They're eating
I'm
their
seeing a
hospital
lot
food,
of people
and
in their 20s, 30s, 40s though in China that are just keeling over in the street.
uh, are we? Is that coming from the communist Chinese government?
No, 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 no.
As
These are
report?
videos that are like being removed as fast as possible, and people are getting arrested for filming them. Like, I just think that I think we're in the early days where yes, round one
That
affects the
sounds
very
like
old, but round 2 and 3 could affect everyone.
maybe.
You know, and until we know, all I want to do is
I would.
err on the side of
Oh,
caution.
absolutely, absolutely. I'll never fault you for that approach. That's a totally fucking smart approach.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
it's.
I'm the
I'm
one
gonna
being a
say
little
it's
bit
perfect.
blasé.
I just see so many people getting so carried away because they've been nursing these ideologies that they want to believe so bad. And now it's all come true for them. It's like, it finally makes sense. The Illuminati's making their move. You know, it's like, no, it's more likely an
Well, that's
accident.
true.
It's more likely an
No,
accident.
that's true.
And sure, they could
No,
be
I don't mean the
exploiting it.
release.
Sure,
Okay,
the
all right.
MSN is
So-
going to milk it for everything it's worth to get Trump, but
No,
it
so
doesn't
the
mean it was
release-
designed and it was on purpose. These are the low
No,
IQ
I don't
pattern
think the release
seekers.
was intentional. If the release was intentional, it would have been released better.
Hmm.
I don't think the release is intentional. The reaction is definitely a fucking dress rehearsal of the final fucking power grab of the final.
But if it's a dress rehearsal, that implies there was a deliberate release of this. Where I'm still
No,
convinced
not necessarily.
it
Not
was
necessarily.
accidental
No, that's
release.
not what
And
I'm saying.
if it was deliberate, it was deliberate on China's part to
The
cull their
lockdown.
aging population.
No, I'm saying the release may or may not be deliberate. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, it was accidental.
Yeah.
The lockdown is a dress rehearsal
Yeah, true.
for the global government, for the and it's not even a dress rehearsal. What it is it's a recon by fire. What they used to, in the Vietnam War, they could see the enemy. They knew they were in the fucking jungle somewhere. They knew they were creeping around in there, so they just open up and just blaze the whole fucking jungle with gunfire until something shot back.
Yep.
All right, so
I was talking to in San Diego. I was working with a helicopter pilot from Vietnam. He's like a 68-year-old
he said, "Get some."
68-year-old dude with like a limp because he was shot through the leg. He was a machine gunner in those Hueys that would
he
come
was a
and land.
gunner. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so M60
in my head,
gunner
he's
in
saying
the
get some.
Huey to go and get guys out, and they did countless missions. And he's like, if I didn't get shot on that mission, my whole crew went down and are missing in action like the next week. Right, so they went down in the jungle and have never been heard from again. And I was asking him, I'm like, did you ever see who you're shooting at, or did you just see like bursts from the forest and you just unload? And he's like,
Well,
yeah, we'd
they
see
saw
like
him.
we'd see stuff in the forest, and I would just lay down fire on the tree line. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh, cool.
Yeah, but he would have also seen the enemy a couple of times as well. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he did though. And they did tons of extraction missions where it's like he would see guys get shot, like running to get like what was it? He said something like
Yeah, the VC were shifty little cunts. They were quite accurate with those AKs, with no optics, no glass, no scope whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just they were able to take single aimed shots from a hidden position in a tree line or in some scrub,
mm-hmm.
and they were hitting their target. They were good soldiers, man. They were not fucking jihadi. Jihadis
They
are
were
retarded.
dedicated, right? I mean, it's their land. They've
They've got a high IQ potential, like a potential of analytical thinking and strategic thinking,
yeah.
which jihadis do not have.
No, it did.
They simply don't.
They've got the will though. They've got that blind devotion, which is. I was
They've
having
both
this
got that,
discussion
yeah.
with a guy who like saw me tweet about Churchill earlier, and so I always get these like DMs, or someone will just
Oh,
reply.
really?
It's like, "Oh, did you know Churchill did this?" And I'm like, "Good lord,
Do you know he fucked his cat one time?
dude! They'll find anything. They mine history, reading their and this is a really good dude, by the way. Like, I'm just saying, like, most people that read ideological history, ideologues stop reading history when it's not effective for them. Like, they don't go back in time as far as they need to. They place more importance on certain historical moments than others because they want this certain thing to be true. You know, like I remember
Well, 'cause
hearing
they're not interested in
David
the
Duke.
truth.
David Duke was talking about Churchill, saying, "Oh, his first suit, he got a suit from a Jew because he couldn't afford it," and like that was his 6 degrees of separation to mean he's owned by the
Fuck that
Rothschilds.
guy, seriously.
No, but like he's an
Seriously.
ideologue. He reads history through his lens of
Look at his
placing
face.
supreme
Look at his physical
importance
appearance.
on one Jewish
Right,
guy
so-
that donated a suit to Churchill as like evidence.
Okay, so let's do David Duke for 1 second. All right, so imagine you're a young David Duke. You're 6'8", 10 years old. You're becoming a little man.
hmm
You're a boy and discovering what you want to be as a man. I don't think he looked that ugly when he was a little boy. I think at some point he started failing miserably, either through his teenage years or his young adulthood years. And if you look at him now, he just looked like a fucking creep.
Yeah,
No
because
good guys.
he's a
Good
very
guys
old
do
man.
not look
He's
like
an
that.
old man using steroids, so you're gonna look weird.
No.
He's like in his
No.
70s, dude.
It's not just the complexion or the wrinkles or the hunched shoulders or the drawn or the no, it's like a look in the eye. It's something. Good guys don't look like that.
Yeah.
Really awesome dudes don't look like that. They just don't. That's years and years of toxic shit and deals with the devil and just fucking venom and just pure shit.
Yeah,
Makes you look like
and
that.
I don't know what he's about.
Like he looks like one of them. He looks like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah,
He looks
and
the same as her.
all these people going crazy on like Sharon Stone. Did you see how ugly she is now? Look at how ugly. I'm like, these are old people. Like,
Well,
Sharon
no,
Stone's
she
old,
never
dude.
used to look ugly. She looked beautiful.
Well,
I don't think she's one of them.
well, no, but like
She probably
everyone's
probably
going,
sucked
oh,
some
look at
dick
them
to get
without
a
makeup.
fucking
I'm like,
role.
they're fucking using their phone. They're not in their like makeup trailers anymore. You know, and a lot of these people like in the Q ideology will make you go, look, they're talking in code to each other. I'm like, no, I think they're just going crazy that they don't have people
Yeah.
oogling over them all day, going, "We're ready for you. You're going to be in makeup in 5." Like everyone waiting on you hand and foot. Now they got no one. They've just got the dead silence of just hanging out in their house, and they're like, "I need
I'm not
my
sure about
people back.
Sharon Stone.
What do I say online?"
I don't know enough about Sharon Stone. I haven't seen anything from her. I don't know.
Okay,
Um,
finish your thought on Sharon Stone. I'll be
Some of
back
the
in
other
20
ones,
seconds.
we know who the ringleaders are. We know who the ringleaders are. We're talking Robert De Niro, Madonna, Spacey, obviously Cosby, Weinstein, those fucking idiots. Alyssa Milano, she's one of them. Well, Jay-Z and Beyonce, definitely fucking full Illuminati, satanic, fucking Babylonian baby sacrificing freaks. You don't become a billionaire by being an ex-crack dealing fucking rap producer. No, you do not. Never. No, impossible. Not possible.
What's not
These
possible?
guys, for Jay-Z to become a billionaire by being a fucking crack dealer and then becoming a fucking producer of shit rap.
Well, people love shit. Like I think rap is
Nah,
horrible,
not
but
that much.
people love
Not-
it.
Bono? What, you think Bono sold that many fucking U2 records? No. These people are baby murderers. That's why they are where they are. We know who the fucking ringleaders are. Bob Geldof and Bono are baby murderers, but they're more involved in the George Soros kind of UN kind of globalist world domination aspect of it, whereas Jay-Z and Beyonce are more like symbolism and we're gonna do the fucking halftime show at the Super Bowl and we're gonna put every Babylonian fucking symbol in there all at once, just to fuck with you, just to be like so blatant about it. So we know who the fucking ringleaders are. I don't know about Sharon Stone. I've never heard anything from her. I'm assuming she's probably a good-looking blonde girl who had some talent, who probably definitely copped the casting
it's
couch
when
routine.
women get old and they don't put on weight, they get gauntly. Right? So she's skinny and
that's
old.
natural
She's
aging.
gonna look
I'm not
like
talking
hell.
about natural aging. I'm not
But
talking about
women who
natural
put
aging.
on
I'm
a bit
talking
of
about these.
chunk when they get older tend to last a little better.
So, I
Some.
mean, just for example, take Melania Trump. She's not exactly young anymore. She
No,
must
but
be
she's
nearly
got that
50.
like statuesque look to her, where it's when she reaches
She's probably had
60.
some nip and tuck done. I don't know how old she is, but I'm guessing she must be 50.
Yeah,
And
she's
she looks
Botoxing, bro.
fucking
Her face
28.
doesn't
She looks
move a
30.
lot. It doesn't change shape a lot. It stays pretty tight in the cheek area, like a lot of Botoxers.
I just think
She's
that
gorgeous
when
though.
you,
I like her better than better than Ivanka.
oh fuck Ivanka
Like
all
if
the
there
way.
was like a 2-door wood
To
bang,
hell.
pick door number 2 with Melania or door number 1 with Ivanka, I would pick Melania.
Oh,
Would you not?
what do I get to do to them?
You
Do
get
I
to
get to
choose. No, you
fuck
get to
them?
bang one of them. And now,
Bang one of them?
yeah,
Do I get to bang them any way I want to bang them?
of course. It's our
Well, I wouldn't take
imagination, of
Melania
course.
because that's Donald Trump's wife, and I wouldn't dishonor fucking his
No,
wife. But I'd
that's
take
kind
the
of gross.
daughter and I'd
Imagining
fuck
that it's an
the
old
evil out
dude's
of her.
girl.
Yeah, I'd fuck Ivanka. Fucking
That really
stupid.
hurts though. Don't you hate when you
slap her around?
when you see a dude and you know that a dude has been with this woman, especially like an old guy? That kind of creeps me out on them a bit. You know, it's like, really?
No, 'cause women-
you had an
women-
old dude's balls in your mouth? What's going on? Like, I remember there was this chick that I thought was hot way back in the day, like in 1999. And my buddy got a blowjob from her, and I'm like, it's over. You killed it for me, bro. She just looks like your penis to me now.
Yeah,
It just
totally.
kills the deal for me when you just know someone that chick did something with. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you call that.
I know exactly what I knew that from an early age. I did
It's
that
so gross,
to
dude.
girls.
I couldn't look at her anymore. I'm
So,
like, you're
I had all
so
these
gross. You
beautiful
sucked my
girls.
buddy's cock.
I had specifically one or two that were very, very special. And I definitely was in love with them.
Yeah.
Beautiful little, innocent little girls when I was probably, 15, 16,
Cool.
17, 18. And I knew that I was on a path of destiny to become a gigantic fucker, which I fulfilled. And I knew it before it happened. And I wanted to push these girls away. So I fucked their sister.
Really? That's pretty.
Yeah, instead of the one I had feelings for, I fucked the other sister.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did.
So she wouldn't look at me as her darling man anymore.
Yeah. There's weird stuff that the
And I was
childish.
completely aware of what I was doing too. It was really sick and twisted and really messed up, man.
Yeah.
Like any real man would have just said, no,
But
don't
you're not a
become
man
fucker,
yet,
man. Go
right?
and
You're just like
seize the day
following
and take
around
this
your
beautiful girl
balls,
and-
and your balls are going, come this way. I've got to show you something.
All right.
But I had that too with a chick that was like my high school sweetheart type thing. And you're so nervous that you never make a move on her. But her neighbor,
It wasn't that.
no, it wasn't that. I'm just telling you a different one. But this
For me, I'm sorry, it wasn't
instance,
that. I know that feeling too.
this instance was the hot slutty neighbor of the girl I dug was like, yeah, do you want to go out? And she was pushing so hard for it. And so, yeah, sure, I'll go out with you, which essentially means you'll talk on the phone with them every day. And after that, the original crush was like, yeah, I don't want you anymore. You just made out with that whore across the street. And I'm like, that was
Yeah,
like 3
you
months
did
ago.
go outside.
In kid years, this is like fucking a decade ago. But that girl
So you
broke
did
up
what
with
I
me
did,
at the
but you
second
didn't mean to do it.
that my high school sweetheart didn't like me anymore. This chick broke it off with me because all she wanted to do was wreck a happy home.
Yep.
That's all she wanted to do. That was her conquest.
Humans are humans.
There's a spider eating my coffee whitener, and I don't want to kill it, but I'm like, is it leaving some sort of gross bacteria on my little coffee whitener?
It's fine. Don't worry.
I'm just going to let it feed, I guess. I guess spiders like coffee whitener.
Is it sugar based or aspartame?
I'll take it.
white now. Yeah.
It's the powder base because I didn't want to have to rely on keeping a cooler filled with ice.
Is that because your coffee's got fucking vitiligo? You're trying to even it out. Just white pulp.
Oh, man. So, I don't
Way-
care if we
I'm
keep going
way-
on music.
I'm low energy, bro.
I don't care.
No, that's fine.
We have no standard for comparison or anything to be a success or anything. I wanted to see if it could work,
No,
if
it's
we
fine.
could stream.
Yeah, no, this is a fucking test run. This is a technical
Yeah, yeah.
test.
I think a good topic though would be.
Let's discuss. Let's
I
discuss
think
what your
Metallica
ideas
would
are.
have been better if Mustaine.
Yeah.
Everything would have been better. As much as I love Megadeth, if Mustaine had stayed in Metallica and they found a way to make it work, because I believe there's an epic
know. I
interview. There's an epic interview where Mustaine is having a breakdown with Lars, where it's like the first time they've talked, and Lars is interviewing Mustaine.
This is from the Monster.
Probably it's a clip on YouTube, so
Yeah.
you probably know the original source material, and I'm just
Yeah, it's
referencing
from
the
some
clip.
kind of monster.
Okay, cool.
documentary.
And he's talking to
Yeah.
to Mustaine, and he's like, and Mustaine's like, you never gave me a second chance, and
I know,
I
that was
would have
right,
changed
man.
for you. And I fucking believed him. I'm like, you know what? I think if they told him never have a drink again or you're out, he would never have a drink again. He
Oh, yeah,
loved
that's
Metallica so much that I think he would have done it.
Drink when they say drink, that's code for heroin.
Probably. Probably.
Mustaine was a heroin addict,
Yeah.
and the other boys
but
weren't.
it was his
The other boys
drinking.
were wild
He would be a
childs. They were
mean
all big
drunk.
drinkers.
And he also said a
Oh,
cool
no,
thing to
no.
Lars when he's like, Lars, I protected you. You remember when that guy was bugging
Yeah.
you and I broke his arm? He'd never hurt you again. Like, that's awesome.
I don't remember that. Dude.
Yeah, he
That
said
must
that
be
to Lars.
fucking director's
He's like,
cut.
don't you remember when that dude hurt you and I broke his fucking arm? I said, you're
That's
never going to
badass.
hurt my friend again. And Lars is like, yeah, I remember that, dude. That was pretty
That's
rad.
family.
Yeah. But, like,
That's
can you
fucking hard.
imagine, like,
Oh.
Mustaine was built for Metallica. And the songs he wrote on Kill 'Em All were amazing. Jump in the
Oh, yeah.
Fire. He was more funky. Like, Mustaine wrote funky shit.
Yeah, it was a little less dark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was more jazzy and boppy. You know what
Yeah,
I
it was
mean?
the same high speed.
Funky. You just had a little bit of swing to it, you know, where Hetfield was a machine, a sawtooth wave, you know,
Mhm.
and fucking Mustaine was more of a you know, it
Yes,
was like
yes,
it's
yes.
way more boppy.
Love that one. Digging, 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 ding.
Mhm.
But I don't think that would have been a Metallica song. I think you can
Well,
see
it
those
did. I mean,
influences
Jump in the
those
Fire was
Metallica
boppy.
songs.
There was the
Yeah.
the Four Horsemen or like
Horseman is very fucking.
that's
cool, yeah.
Mustaine. That's his song. And what
Oh
else?
yeah, of course.
Uh, It's just it was built for it, man. And he could have split the singing duties. You know, it's
Yeah, I don't know
easily
if it
he
would've
could have
ever
split the
worked, though.
singing
There's
duties.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, and you know what?
We
I
can't-
think
we haven't
that's
got a
it.
time
I think
machine. We'll never know.
Hetfield doesn't give a shit that Hammett is not the greatest lead player. He loves that Hammett is a low maintenance, nice guy friend. You know, Hammett is
You've
just
got a
his
theory.
buddy. Hammett's just like a
You've got a
nice
theory.
fucking guy to have around. Because I guarantee you,
I think Hammett is actually underrated.
oh,
as
he
a
is.
guitarist.
I've played Marty Friedman solos. Not
He's very
well,
expressive.
not well,
He's a
but I
very
can
good
play
lead
them
player.
at a C+ rating. And I'll tell you, man, there's some Hammett solos that I am straining to even get a B- rating in.
Well, that's because you play with 10 to 46 gauge strings. When he would definitely be playing a 9 on the top. There's no two ways about it. He would definitely have a 9 top.
Yeah, well,
He might have a 46 on the bottom, but he hasn't got a 10 on the top. No way. Not on that ESP thing that he plays.
he's got
that
he's a
Ouija
very
board
bad.
guitar.
He's not a good rhythm player. When you hear him just jamming riffs, you're like, ay ay ay, this guy's not great.
Well, I'll explain you why. He's playing on a Floyd guitar, so he doesn't have that hardtail kind of fucking resonance, that proper attack. Like the guitar just sounds mushy. He can't play downstrokes as fast as James, so he doesn't even try. He just plays up, down, up, down, up, down. And his string gauge, and not just the gauge, the whole setup of the guitar and his tone he dials in is more geared towards laying back while James is driving the riff and then hitting the boost pedal and coming through strong for the leads,
Yeah.
the solo. So he's all set up to be a lead guitarist. His whole setup is a lead setup. He very rarely even plays a hard note. Although he does have hard.
I'm trying to
He
do
definitely has.
He does one. Yeah, I like him. I like the way he does his
Yeah,
early
I like him a
solos
lot too.
before
Like,
he got carried away on his wah pedal. His early solos are pretty fucking badass.
I actually like that wah stuff. That reminds me more of Slash, where Slash
Yeah.
is using the pedal as much as he's using the bend, as
Mhm.
much as, and Slash would do it on a hardtail. He'd do it on a fucking pole with no, wang bar at all. And so the way Slash does it sounds better. But, I mean, Kirk's not. He's not a dime bag, and he's not a
No,
Zach Wild kind of player. He's not
but
trying
there's
to be.
like great all the clips I see where he's getting hate. There's always guys coming through going, guys, he never claimed to be the best. He's just kind of
No.
playing. Like not everyone gets in the game to be like, I'm the fucking king.
In fact, Mustaine and Cliff were the only really proper classically trained musicians in that band.
Mhm.
The other guys were all winging it. They were all, and they've admitted that openly. They don't read music. They haven't got a clue what a fucking key or scale is. James doesn't. Fucking Jason never did. Jason was a bit more musical in his theory knowledge, but he still played bass with a pick like a fucking chump, like a pointless fucking idiot.
I love Jason, man.
No, he's just terrible, bro. I mean, why don't you play with your fingers? You're not a bass player, bro. You're not. You're playing with a pick.
He's great though.
Why?
Because his
Why
stage
would you play
presence,
with a
his
pig?
singing, his stage presence.
He can sing. Have you heard his solo stuff? He's not bad. His voice is quite good for that, and it sounds exactly like Metallica. And he sings like James. Pretty cool.
He's
But the band is terrible overall.
Echo Brain. Was that his band?
No, that was the first thing he did. Now he's just called Newstead. Like Santana.
Santana. Yeah, he's
No, I just mean like he's dropped the first name and he's just known as Newstead. That's the name of the band.
I tried listening to his new stuff and Newstead's new stuff, and it reminds me of like listening to Jakey Lee and Red Dragon Cartel. They're kind of going through the motions and giving you like a pop-up book of what you'd expect.
Mhm.
I just don't.
That's what I got
It's
from
not
it, too.
cutting edge. It's just kind of like playing what they think you want to hear instead of that hungry young vibe of let's fucking light the world on fire. Like that's what the young bands have that cuts through. And these guys are just doing the like,
Yep.
yeah, this is a more bluesy metal I'm playing.
The other thing he doesn't have is that whole concept of like what you said.
Yep.
That hunger, but then you add to that the wisdom and the humbleness, the humility to let the song write itself. You know what I mean? Instead
Yep.
of trying to force the song into the place you want it to go to, you just let it write itself, and you keep it simple. And yeah, just fucking who cares? Fucking drop the fucking one finger power chords a bit. Who cares? We're not trying to win the guitar Olympics. We're trying to write a great song.
Exactly.
So yeah,
And even
Yeah, that's-
Hatfield can't
I
write
do-
good stuff. You
Sorry,
show
say
me
that
the
again.
last good song Hatfield wrote.
I don't know which one's a Hatfield one. I like a lot of Death Magnetic.
I don't.
I like
It sounds
Death
like they're
Magnetic
playing-
better than the next one, Hardwired. I like Death Magnetic much better than Hardwired.
I like.
Although Hardwired is better for me on the bass because it's really challenging. It's really high speed shit, and I don't play it like. Again, even Robert. You know how Robert plays fingers, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't really play fingers. When it goes, he's not playing left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, two fingers, or he's not doing a 3-finger,
Mm-hmm.
30-second note. What would you call it? Like a overlap, where you can use 3 fingers to do a multiple of 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Imagine
He's
it.
a very good bass player. I remember watching the auditions, and when he came in, he was
He's a-
clearly the best.
He's not.
Hey, they
He plays
arrested
with
that
fingers.
guy
He's
that
the best
licked all
bass
the
player.
stuff. Remember
Who?
that guy that licked all the deodorant things on the shelf?
Oh yeah, he's gone to jail.
He's arrested, yeah. Missouri Walmart.
Moron.
Coronavirus liquor
He's
charged
been
with
charged with
terrorist
a
threat.
terrorist threat. Yeah,
Haha. Good for
I saw
him.
that. Fuck it.
No, man. I think
I hope he has to lick the cock meat sandwich.
oh, he's going to be licking some shit now. But do you think have you listened to Megadeth Dystopia album, the one I always rave about?
No,
Oh, dude, it's so
I
fucking
have to
great.
admit, I'm so ashamed that I. This is the whole thing that I know you're a huge Mustaine fan. I love the guy. I've got nothing bad to say about him, but I've just never dug Megadeth. I don't know why. It's just that little bit too fancy.
I
And
guess. I love him.
you know,
I think
whereas
he's
Metallica's
metal. I
just
think
more
his whole
straightforward,
attitude is like, I don't know. Some people find it offensive. I'm like, he's honest, dude. He's like a real
Oh
dude.
yeah, no,
That's what
no,
real
I don't
looks
hate him
like.
at all.
Like when I
I
see,
haven't got a negative thing to say about him at all. To be honest.
yeah, I don't know.
Other than he just doesn't look cool.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't rock out cool. He looks geeky. But that's not much of a negative. But if we just kept it purely about his music, I've got nothing bad to say at all.
It's weird that he's from
Just
San
never dug
Diego.
him.
Because just getting back from there, I'm thinking like San Diego. It makes me think you'd write music like Talking Heads or something if you lived there.
Well, the rest of the guys are from San Francisco, so
I
that's even
know,
fucking
it's
worse.
so weird. Well, San Francisco was a Cliff Burton thing. Like he said, I'll play in your band, but you have to come up to San Francisco.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they were like
I
an
thought that was where
LA,
James and
San
Lars
Diego, LA thing. And,
I remember now.
And Cliff Burton was
James
like,
and Lars met at the fucking music college, didn't they?
I don't know where James and Lars originated. I think it was L.A., or maybe it
That
was San
sounds more
Fran.
like it. Yes.
But I remember they said like Burton didn't want like the hair metal scene that was L.A., and so he's like, if you come up to San Francisco, I'll join. Or I don't know if there was like a. It sounds like
Burton was talented. He was really good.
oh
but
yeah, he
even
was.
his
That's
bass licks, I
all
don't like them.
the specials
I
I
don't
watch
like,
on them.
I don't
they're
like his bass riffs, man.
He's great.
I don't like his bass tone. I don't like his choice of instrument. He always played a Rickenbacker.
Yeah.
Not always. He had a few different basses, but that main one sounds fucking horrible, mate. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind owning one just for that odd occasion where I want that twangy fucking guitar sound on a bass. It wouldn't be my primary bass. No way. There's just no balls to it at all. And it's a short. It's not a short scale. It's a narrow neck, and it's just. Ugh. It's like the bass version of a Gibson guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which Gibson guitars are cool, but that whole concept does not translate into bass. With bass, you want a longer neck and wider spacing and bigger fucking heavier body and big fucking beefy pickups. You don't want that sparkly twanky sound.
Well, there's two ways to record a bass that I learned was you can either let the bass be very low and undefined, like Soundgarden bass. You know how
Yep.
he really doesn't have tone. It's just like a woo, 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 you know?
Yep.
And then you have a more thuddy kick because those are the two competing things, is the bass and the kick.
Well,
or you have
Do you know what we
a
do
more
these days
woo, woo, woo.
in the 21st century, Alex, brother?
Yeah.
We do both at the same time. It's called a dual signal path.
No, but sonically they can't occupy the same sonic terrain. Like you usually select.
You run 2 amps, and they don't have to be real life amps. They can be.
You're still
on
going to
the
be
computer
like
screen.
mixing them in. You're still going to be choosing, do I want the kick to be the woo woo woo, or do I want it to be the thud thud
No,
thud?
you do both. You have okay. So you have your clean channel and you have your gritty or crunchy channel,
Mhm.
just like a guitarist would, but you roll them both at the same time. The clean channel is the first sound you described, which is all your bottom end,
Yeah.
and it's clean. There's no overdrive on there. There's probably no. You still probably put a little compression on there. You always. Some bass players hate compression, but they're like bass players.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. They're the guys who go. Those guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
they like a natural tone, right? But for a rock band, what you're doing is you want your bass tone to be solid, almost no top on it at all, but it's not topless. So if you played just the bass tone by itself, it would just be doom, 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 or even maybe like boom, boom, boom. It'd be kind of a little bit, the top cut off it.
Yeah.
And then you run your crunch tone, which will have a bass overdrive or a bass balls or some fucking dark glass fucking awesome driver or something. It'll just go like, it'll growl. It'll fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you run them together and it just sounds fucking mind blowing, bro. And I'm not quite there yet. I can actually do it with one tone. I'm doing it with one tone at the moment. I haven't got a dual path channel happening at the moment.
Yep.
But that's the goal. That's the goal, is to run the dual signal path. It's just, it doesn't need to be a stereo signal. I mean, no, it is a stereo signal into the desk, but it doesn't come out in left and right stereo. It comes out as the bass channel. So you would apply both evenly to both sides of the final mix.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to do a quirky little thing for a certain
Usually,
particular
though,
moment.
in most recordings you hear, you can notice that it's either the bass is getting the high thud or the low thud, and the kick drum is getting the high thud or the low thud. Usually, they're not both doing it. Usually, they're sonically separated.
Gotcha.
Just slightly.
Yeah, right.
but yeah.
Okay, so if the kick drum and the bass are occupying exclusively the same band, they will pop and cancel each other out, and that's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, exactly.
So it'll become like -6 plus -6 equals. No, it'll be -6 plus -6 equals plus 12.
And you can get around it by like slightly panning, offsetting, separating the space.
No, you would just
It's
you
the
do
same
it
thing.
EQ. You'd EQ them separately.
Yeah, but there's certain ways to space things out, because there's another one where the snare, the vocals, and the guitar are all competing for mid range, and
They shouldn't be.
well,
The
sonically
snare's
they
very
do,
very high end.
right?
The
Like
guitar
a snare is
high
pretty
mid.
much right in the middle range of Chris Cornell's vocals, and
Yeah. No, you're onto it.
Same
You're
with
onto
a
it.
distorted guitar.
This is
So
the
you
brilliant.
separate them by slightly panning. Give this the center space. Give this space.
Yep.
Like, it's
It can be
interesting,
done.
but it's for the nerds. I always got into, like, I learned how to be an engineer, but I would much rather be a producer. Just speaking in terms of, like, warm this up. You know what I mean? Not getting all.
Yep.
Wow, this spider is just gorging my coffee creamer.
Yeah.
I don't have the heart to
No,
kill him.
I know you're very good at this stuff. But yeah, the bass sound that we're using in modern times, and the guitarists of all the modern metal bands do it as well. So that even the guitar guys do it.
Yeah.
And they both have to be cognizant of how many instruments you have in your band and who's
This
playing
is
what
the-
frequency
this is the
range.
open
Yes,
F.
you do have to. You have to leave each other room on the frequency bandwidth. Absolutely. But as far as the bass tone, like even if it's on a straight single channel, what I'll be looking for is pretty scooped, what we call scooped. So I'm going to have that bottom end there. Even if the top is distorted, the bottom won't distort
Yeah.
because I'm running it. It's a bass overdrive. So the actual drive itself is designed to let the bottom end come through clean. So it's not what we would, if we were going to overdrive the whole sound, we would call that a fuzz. That'll just turn the whole thing into like one of those Cliff Burton solo, little shit sound. But the normal crunchy sound that you'll hear in Tool or fucking Korn or whatever the fuck, they're all using dual signal. Those guys, because they can afford it, they've got 2 rigs on stage. They've got 2 fucking entire fucking stacks, one for the bottom and one for the top. And the bottom is the clean and the top is the crunchy.
Oh yeah, they blend, yeah. And we still do it with like even recording acoustic into stuff, just to give that transient
acoustic
hit
guitars
note,
too.
just of the pick sound, or you know what I mean?
Yep.
Blending
Well,
stuff in.
on
It's
acoustic
the whole
guitars, you can
art to
blend
it,
like
but I
3 or
can't
4
be
signals.
bothered. I can't be
The best
bothered with that.
acoustic setups are you'll have the onboard mic, which will be an actual little microphone inside the fucking hole, inside the body.
Yep.
And then you'll have the piezo pickup inside the bridge, which is the piezo, which is very sparkly, all your top ends and all your physical vibrations, your physical scratches and interactions, that'll come through the piezo. and then you might put an ambient mic as well. And yeah, so at least 2, possibly 3 channels would all be blended together for a nice acoustic sound. So the concept I'm talking about with the bass is absolutely used by other instruments too. I mean, they do it all the time with vocals. They double track vocals. I mean, have you ever heard an isolated vocal of Kurt Cobain singing, like from the record, from the final fucking record version? It's a double track, him on top of himself, and
No. Who?
and they're recorded separately. Kurt Cobain.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's double track, and he sings it twice, so that there's a bit of natural human variation.
Oh, yeah.
But he gets them both
And
so
he could
close,
double
so
up
close that
pretty.
it sounds like
Yeah,
a chorus effect.
super close. Whereas some
So
people don't
close that
even
you
want
can
it that
the ear
close
can't
because they
hear
can
it.
just slightly delay it, and make it
Yeah,
sound.
no, you can
super
do it
close.
artificially. You can
Yeah.
do it artificially with just a little bit of a
One
little
of
time delay or a little out of phase, a phase shift. You can do that.
yeah.
He did it. He actually double tracked it, and it sounds fucking incredible.
Nice. Yeah, one
That
of my
sounds incredible.
instructors was Jack Richardson, and he was the producer of the Guess Who, and pretty much turned them into who they were. And he had a guitar box, which he showed us all how to build, which is you put one guitar jack in and it sends it to like 4 different amps. So he would record one guitar signal through 4 different amps and blend them all. And
It's not 4 different amps. It's called the 4 cable method. I think it's 2 different amps plus a direct.
No. It's a guitar box.
honest.
It's just one input and 4 outputs. It's a distribution amplifier. So it would send the
Alright.
same guitar signal to 4 different amps, which is like high technology for the 60s when he was recording. Because he was a really old man. He looked like Santa Claus. But this is the guy
This
who
isn't for quadraphonic.
his assistant discovered Alice Cooper and tried to get Jack to produce Alice Cooper, and he's like, I don't got time for this shit. You do it if you want.
Ain't
And
nobody got time for that.
yeah, but he did the Guess Who, and he like turned them into the polished band they were. And he was a bass player. He was a big jazz band bass player who turned into a producer.
Mhm.
But no, there's fun little tricks. But I'm not a nerd. I don't care. I don't care about the little tricks. I
No,
just
but-
care about.
I think you know enough. You know enough to enhance the simplistic joy that we like. We like the simplistic, the real, raw,
Mhm.
fucking rock and roll.
No,
And
I
we have a little couple of tricks to, just even cool factor it even better.
don't know if.
Excuse me, I'm
Don't even worry.
no, I'm not. I just literally know how much I was excusing you. I was excusing myself to you.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking
no.
of maybe getting a good Gibson guitar once I have more money.
Shut the fuck up right now. Stop that thought. Don't complete
The
that
Explorer,
sentence. You
dude.
have
I
two-
need an Explorer.
No, man. No, man.
They're
No,
so
listen.
nice.
Your 2 guitars.
Oh, I
are
love my
fucking
guitar.
Far too expensive. Yeah, they cost too much. You could have like 7.
No,
bucks
you need
out of money.
a certain level. You need a certain level.
Yeah.
I'm above.
Yeah,
I'm
that
too
level.
good for
I've
the
got that level
$200
for $200
guitars,
a pop, man.
and I
Wait
don't
till
even
you
think
hear
I'm
my-
good.
wait till
I'm
you hear my
just too good
instruments.
for $200.
Wait till you hear him.
Because that's
You
yeah,
wait.
they're getting a lot better for sure. I've been watching
know,
those
I keep-
videos.
I
where,
know-
like the Yamaha
I know, I think-
Pacifica for $150 sounds amazing.
They're not bad. The Pacificas, man. They're not bad. They're not absolutely, especially if it was a HSS Pacific. I'd grab one. They're decent.
The
Although I
single
would,
coil is not
I
my
would
universe,
redo the
bro.
pickups myself.
If it was a Jakey Lee Fender, where it's got good fucking P90
What makes a Fender
pickups in
better
it.
than a Squire? I know the answer, but I wonder if you know the answer.
What's that?
What makes a Fender sound better than a Squire?
No idea.
Okay, so it'll be a couple of very small things that some of the high-end Squires. Well, the wood makes a difference. Let's admit that.
Yep.
Admit that there is a difference, but it's maybe a 5% difference in the overall tone, sound, and quality. And your cheapo basswood doesn't sound bad. It's not 5% better. It's 5% different. So there's nothing wrong with basswood. It's light and it sounds neutral, and it does sound a little bit sharp, like a nice little snappy kind of tone. It's not muddy. They don't make guitars out of shit wood that sounds amazing, even the cheap ones. The cheap ones are all made out of basswood and it sounds fine. It's totally acceptable. It's actually, some people prefer basswood because it's neutral. My Strat copy, I can't tell you what it's made of. It's not basswood because it's far too heavy. I'm picking it up now. I have no idea what the fuck it's made of. But it sounds fantastic, and I haven't even done the pickups. These are the stock standard Chinese no-name brand fucking ceramic bloody pickups, right? So all I've got to do to make them sound a little bit more fucking sexy is pull the pickups out, you pull the magnet off the back, and you replace it with an Alnico pickup. An Alnico magnet. And you don't have to rewire it. The wiring's already on there. Or, if you want to get creative, fucking cut the fucking coil off, cut the copper coil out, and rewire it yourself by hand.
Yeah.
And then because you're doing it by hand, you just get a power drill. Yeah, you just get a drill and you mount it to your fucking bench. You center the pickup in there, and you get the spool ready where you can feed it by hand. You can just gently hold that fine little hair thin wire, and then you gradually increase the rotations, and you just feed it on there. That's called scatter winding, and that's how you get that real hot Texas special fucking pickup sound, or that Gibson PAF sound. That can be done. I haven't achieved that yet. I'm not quite there yet, but I've watched all the tutorials. It's easy done.
My drummer has a legit Stratocaster, and it feels fucking amazing to play, but it still doesn't sound like a rock guitar when I put it through my distortion.
Oh, well, mine does.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's at HSS, and when I go on
But
the
it's not
humbucker,
single coil.
and I put on the single coil, it sounds like a Strat, which is what I want. But when I go to the bridge humbucker, and I switch on my fucking imaginary dual rectifier,
Yeah.
it sounds
See, that's the key, though. Bridge humbucker.
like it sounds more fucking aggressive than anything, except for one thing, which is my active guitar. That's the only thing that sounds more ridiculously aggressive.
Yeah.
All my guitars sound equally aggressive, except for that active. Les Paul, that's fucking off chop. Mate. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, you can't play blues with it. You cannot play anything with it other than pure fucking high gain, fucking spastic chug.
Yeah. Les
And when
Pauls
you
are
do,
just, to me, there's just something about them that's cooler. It's like people that like Corvettes versus Porsches. They're both cool, but they're different kinds of cool. I'm more of a Corvette guy. You know, I want to get in a bigger, longer car.
That's what I'm saying. No, you're a fucking Porsche guy. You've got the high-end, expensive German.
Nah, I'm a
fancy
Corvette
schmancy
guy.
shit.
Les Pauls are Corvettes. Fenders are Porsches.
What? That's no. Well, I'm not even talking Gibson versus Fender. I'm talking, you know, like cheaper rather than fucking sell your house expensive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the mid-range instrument, you can do a lot by just doing the setup yourself, polishing the frets yourself, making sure your accent's perfect, your intonation's perfect. If you've got shitty tuners, you can replace them pretty cheap. What else? On a Strat, I haven't done it yet, but I want excuse me, I want to change the sustain block, the actual solid chunk of metal that is the tremolo block. I've got they all come with, even the Fenders come with this really cheap die cast piece of hunk of shit metal.
Yeah.
And you just switch that out for a brass block that costs you about $20, or maybe $30, and that will make a big difference. I've seen the comparisons; it's definitely noticeable. Not super noticeable, but especially for the player, they can tell the difference. The nut, you want to change the plastic nut when you cheap guitar out for a bone nut or a brass nut. Very cheap mod, and even a brass nut's like $4. Bone nut about the same, $4, or a Graphtec nut, which is like some sort of carbon fibery kind of graphite stuff. They're all different. They've got a different tonal quality, but the stock plastic one that comes on your shitty Squire, or like your Epiphone wouldn't come with a shitty plastic nut. It'll have a bone nut, so you don't have to do that because you've already paid fucking $700-800 for a guitar. But when I'm talking about like $150 to $200 guitar, you can fucking mod them up really to the sound where it's totally acceptable. Not just acceptable, like really enjoyable, like fucking inspiration.
But there's so
Like
much. Yeah, I'm so anti-gear but pro technique that like I'm
You
just
trust the pro.
realizing how bad I was at muting strings before I got into metal. You know what I mean? Muting
You mean
strings with your
left hand muting
palm,
with cleaning.
or doing the soft capo with your index finger, so the high strings get muted by the soft capo of your index, and the low strings get muted with the palm meat. You know what I mean? That is so super hard to do that until I get really good at that, I don't care about the components and how nice they sound to the level that I care about technique. You know what I mean? Technique's
Yeah,
tough.
I haven't got an amp at the moment. Otherwise, I'd have a noodle. I've just moved in. I've got all my shit there.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
But yeah, I do know what you mean. I do know.
Yeah, it's I'm doing stuff. I just was listening to like a Paul Gilbert instructional video from the 80s where he's just like showing these crazy like just repeating licks that once you do them really fast they sound insane like Shredder. And I just do them night and day now while I'm watching TV on lockdown, and I'm still.
So I do that on the bass. I don't do the fast run, the scale runs.
Yeah.
I just do fast right hand stuff. Just
That's the way to be.
And yeah, and we're doing a left hand mute. So in other words, you press the string down, get the clean note, and you just do a tiny micro lift of pressure to silence it. And you have to do them as fast with your one finger on your left hand. You have to lift and reapply that pressure at the same speed as your two fingers are going on the right hand.
Nice.
To create instead of a like turn that into a bucket. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember Guitar Hero got me better at bass because you can do an upstroke only thing. You can do an upstroke only with your right hand, and it gives you like authentic bass player. Yeah. So it registers only upstrokes, and it'll be like authentic bass player. And that got me really good at two-finger bass plucking. And when I got on a real bass, I'm like, oh, that translates. Like, it's the only thing in Guitar Hero that translates is your right hand doing bass. You should do that. I wonder if we can do that online. We should both buy, like, fucking Guitar Hero shit. Although I got depressed. I stopped doing Guitar Hero because I'm like, shouldn't I really be playing guitar?
Yeah. No.
Like, it just got depressing after a while that I'm not practicing real guitar.
I gave it a go for like 2 minutes. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah. No. We got too good at it. I had fun playing it with my brother-in-law. He got like the Metallica special version where it's all Metallica tunes. And he used to get so upset with me because I'd be making up Hetfield lyrics. Like just about kill your mother and stuff, because there was like something about kill your mother in one of the, I think Blackened. Does that have the lyric? I don't know. One of the songs had a lyric about your mother, and I just kept riffing on that, making up Hetfield lyrics.
Wow,
he got very bothered because he's such a purist.
I sucked an old man's cock. And then there's Year's Eve, which has Dear Mother, Dear Father.
Yeah. You put me through hell, you all touched by you. What did my mother even do? And I would just keep going like that. Everything would be relating to the last lyric. And he'd be like, don't. The proper lyric is. I'm like, you don't get it. I don't want to know the proper lyric.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like that. I'm making music up, man. Making shit up.
I don't know, man. I might be packing it in for the night, but this was pretty awesome, dude. For our trial run of streamage. At least we know we can do it. And maybe next time we'll actually have like a little syllabus of what we'll cover.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I'd like to do this with actual music players like you, and just like riff on what we like about bands with like a set list of topics to go through.
For sure.
You know what I mean? We'll do a little brainstorming, and then we'll hook this up again.
Definitely, man.
We got nothing but time to mess with it too. All right, brother. Well, we'll get off on this call, but I'll be jamming with you on Twitter chats after this.
Roger that.
All right, bro. Thank you for doing this, and we'll chat again shortly. Peace.